Hey everyone, this is Louis7, and today I am apparently streaming a black screen. Good thing I caught that before this started, or not, but that's supposed to be LOTRO that I am streaming in Update 35 launch stream. Technically I am 1 day late for the launch, so I have to actually... yeah. Completely missed that, but there we go. Got LOTRO back. Now I just need to get OBS up again for the local recording. But yeah, I am 1 day late technically to update 35, but I'm still calling this a launch stream because it's as close as I'll get to a launch experience for the update. And there are tons of things for me to check out today. I honestly don't know what all I will get to, but I think first off, the most obvious thing, I guess, for me to just look at is the Warden update. And I think the best way to do that is jump in on my level 140 Warden. I don't know kin-wise if we have anybody on that would be wanting to do the new 3-mans, but maybe I can poke my head in and do the solo version of those to kind of get used to the look of them, say. And also get a little bit of practice, actually, with the Warden update. So to get to chat, do you want to say hello to Aldred, George, Sesinji, who noticed that I am a few minutes late to the scheduled part of the stream. And Stands in the Fire and Dennis as well. I was really excited to play the update yesterday, and I didn't really get a chance because it's hard for me to do that on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I should say, are days that it's difficult for me to get in a stream, and with all that was going on, I was unable to yesterday as much as I wanted to, so that is pretty much why I am a day late here, but I'm really excited to actually be diving into this. So, let me fix that. Okay, the first thing that I need to do is get to the Return to Carn Dûm area. I think that would be a good start. It looks like I have town services. I have 1 day left on them. That's plenty for the stream, so I won't worry about that. And to get to the new Angmar, Carn Dûm area, you can go from Esteldon would probably be the easiest for me, so I'm just going to muster in Esteldon. You can also do it from Rivendell. Both of them are pretty accessible. Dennis, I have not really played much with the Warden changes. I don't know what's different from beta, but from the overall beta experience, I think round 2 beta was the last chance I got to play that. I was overall pretty positive with the Warden changes. Also, don't mind my outfit here, just need to get that fixed. There we go. So, there should be Baal Avark in Angmar. It's pre-discovered, so you don't actually have to discover it. I don't know if there's a certain level on that, but yeah, I obviously did not have to travel there to already have it discovered. I actually don't know if you can access this place from the landscape or if you have to take a swift travel, to be honest. In the beta, I think that's something I kind of meant to do but never did do. Actually, yeah, if you go out this portal here, maybe can you set your milestone here? That would be super convenient if you could, but I do not see that.
Not long ago.
Oh, there actually is Angmar Reborn? Really? I did not know that this is kind of like a book type quest. Not an epic quest, obviously, but a little mini-series book quest. I assume it's pretty many, but I definitely did not expect that. I'm guessing it's all instance content and not... okay, lots of dailies and weeklies it looks like. But I'm guessing, yeah, it's instance content and not landscape content. Because as far as I know, there's actually no landscape content here. Okay, so we have repeatable to just complete the instance and get some tokens from these repeatables. I guess it's kind of nice. I was not expecting, like... I don't even think I was expecting half of these quests. There are tons of them here. Let me clean... oh, wow, my quest log is... tad bit full here. Well, I'll clear that out for a minute, and I did want to say hello to Irithel. Oh, I can't even cancel that quest. Yeah, at this point I don't need that quest anymore. Alright. Restoring the North. Definitely cancel that. I think that was a quest you used to not be able to cancel. I think that's why I still actually had it. Don't need these missions. They're not like completed, so I can just abandon them, no problem here. If I had one, actually expected there to be tons of quests like this, and two, bother to do any sort of preparation. Oh, somebody in the kin just waved at me. Would be that guy Galore. We'll give a wave back. Okay, we'll cancel the Pit of Stonejaws quest. I think those are good. This character is kind of messy with the Gundabad progression just because he was sort of my second character to go through it, and as much as I enjoyed Gundabad questing the first time around, by the time this character got there, I just wasn't quite ready for it again. So that is one of the reasons I have all these quests. Also, Elder Slade. These would be the quests to cancel. Because I saw these, I'm going to get through them real quick. I guess the introduction Elder Slade, wow. I did not do Elder Slade on this character, I guess. I picked up some of the quests. Yeah, I actually remember I did some quests, I thought. I don't know why I wouldn't have done introduction then. But there we go. Got that cleaned up. Very exciting start to the stream here. But here is another quest. I'm assuming, again, all these are inside the instances in some form or another. So it looks like there is a whole lot of story here with why we are returning to Carn Dûm. As far as I understand, and maybe actually reading these would clue me in a little bit more, my understanding is that this return to Carn Dûm is set in post-Gundabad times and not the Carn Dûm of regular Angmar zone questing times.
Do you wish to hear the
Oh, that's actually a travel quest. If we ever pick up all these quests, it is kind of laggy here. I assume there's plenty of people on the server for Landreval. Actually, that's not particularly impressive, but I guess for this day, whatever day today is, Thursday, it's not too bad.
We need your assistance in the apothecary. According to our scouts, the place has been left abandoned.
There are a lot of quests for inside the instances, especially for them being repeatable as far as I can tell. Something I just wouldn't have expected. And then we have weekly and dailies here, I believe. So it looks like the weekly quest, this is just complete the daily 4 times. And the daily is to complete just one of the instances. It looks like one of the dungeons, I should say, to specify compared to the raid. It doesn't look like the raid is a part of that. The raid is actually not even in game yet. You might remember if you saw any of my content regarding that, and in the lead up to the update, that I was kind of surprised that they were planning on releasing a raid with this update. Well, they ultimately didn't. I don't know if it's delayed or if that was always their intention and we just sorta kinda didn't know. New cosmetics are always exciting. I remember somebody shared, I think it was Laura Linarian on Twitter is where I saw this. Somebody shared this outfit, I thought it looked different. Maybe it's just this character it looks different on. I don't know if this is... Well, let me actually pick a decent color. Oh, definitely not dark green. Burgundy doesn't look bad if I was into that look. Evanescent blue, of course. I feel like it's really hard for me to not like Evanescent blue, but I don't think it quite matches that, to be honest. Yes, Rivendell green. That's more of the green that I was looking for. I think Rivendell green could look good with that. I don't know what character I would use this on. Definitely not this one, though. I still like the overall look of it. I just, don't know what character I would end up using something like that on. I can get a muster here, so that's really exciting. That should be expected, but still exciting. It looks like these are Carn Dûm necklaces. The stats on these look fairly impressive. Trying to remember, it's been so long since I've done anything end game related after I got my fill of Before the Shadow content. that I have to remind myself what the stats are actually like at level 140, but yeah, these don't look bad. I certainly hope they wouldn't. Item level 483 gold necklaces, they shouldn't look bad. So it looks like you have to get a Carn Dûm lump of twisted silver. Not 100% sure on how you get that, but that dude's there. What was the top reward? It was, oh, housing stuff. That's why I skipped over it. I would like to dedicate some time to actually building a nice house in LOTRO, but the problem is there's usually other stuff in the game I would prefer to do than doing housing. Oh, that was an effect. I was wondering like if they were glowing green, but yeah, that's sort of an effect there. I was hoping that the delving, because I thought some of the delving updates included some sort of form of changes to loot, so I was hoping, I don't know why, there would be a delving vendor here, but there is not, so I can't see anything related to that. And one of the other reasons is I thought there was some relation of the lump of silver here to the delvings, so it would have been nice to have a check on that, I suppose, to see if there's anything barter-wise. But yeah, this is one of the reasons I actually like not playing betas. So I played the first 2 rounds of beta, and when I played the instances, I think there was something broken with the second one, so there was only 1 instance in the game at that point in the beta. There were, I think, some quests, but not all of them, and certainly not the book quest. I guess we can start that.
Do you wish to hear the tale, my friend?
So yeah, it's a lot more exciting to actually discover all this stuff in game, for me at least, than play it during beta or experience it, even just see it, be exposed to it, not necessarily play through it, because I definitely don't play through it in beta.
The challenge was called,
And
we of the Trevgalore.
yeah, that's one of the reasons, like way back long ago, during Mordor times, I made a video on why I don't play betas, and that's, I suppose, the short version of why. Some of the reasons, at least. I think there were others. Alright, we do need to spec.
Whatever the reason for Domangard's exile,
I wish I could be really excited about this story right now and listening to this. Is this,
Clagord spoke and offered his terms for
recounting the events? Okay.
warrior, and the old laws of mercy upheld.
I'm trying to remember if this is what you actually experienced when you played through Angmar. It's been a while since I've done the zone and the Cranog's challenge. That
I stepped forward to fight for the Trevgalore.
I don't remember if this is what it's like, if this is supposed to be sort of a reimagined story of that, or it's even for your thinking about your character role playing in the game, if it's for their own benefit to remind them of what went on here,
I wish to fight
or if this is something new.
so I thought.
But I definitely remember Felicro, Cranog, all his quests. Those were pretty neat. I tried, when I leveled my Runekeeper on a Nor, I think that is the latest attempt I have had at Angmar, and I call this one an attempt because I was really excited to go through Angmar, but ultimately barely got into it. And I think that character, I ended up just like leveling him instead of just going through Angmar, essentially, because he was pretty high level at that point I got to the zone. And I think if I were to do a run through Angmar, it would have to be, ooh, the hardcore captain could be a good one for that, but it would have to be a character going there, probably slightly under leveled, maybe 37-ish. One-handed halberds, those would be neat weapons.
It was not long before he was forced to yield.
I'm suspecting that the new class coming to LOTRO in the fall is Corsair related, even if it's not going to be called a Corsair. Swashbuckler, I think, is a name I've seen thrown around. While I suspect the class, and it would make sense for a class to be like that, I think having I'm thinking Swan Knight, were they the ones that used halberds and shields? Like they had the two-handed weapon halberds, but also had a shield. For forget exactly, but I think that would be really neat just to have a little bit different weapon type melee combatant.
Will you stay
Oh,
here,
what am I trying to say?
If only
Arsenal.
the end
That's
of
what I'm
it.
thinking. Loading screen's good time to give the cat attention. I just know she's gonna crawl right on back over. Maybe, maybe not. Okay.
You wish to know what became of Crannog, do you? I thought as much.
Oh no, a session play. I don't like session plays, but wait, is this a session play? Maybe not. I could be getting this confused with something else. Maybe not. Okay.
Twice now Clucath has claimed those dear to me. First my father Nasan, and now Crannog. I will not suffer another loss. Do not think ill of Nechtan, my
All right.
friend.
So
He is
this is chapter 1, so I assume there are more chapters. But basically, I think it was Iron Crown. Is that right? I already forgot the name of what they were saying in the text, but they're running a bit rampant in Angmar, and more specifically Carn Dûm, as far as I can tell.
still exist.
Yeah, Iron Crown. So we get to help a couple people with quests, specifically for the instances. So it is a good thing I did Angmar Reborn. That's where I got the name Reborn. Or Reimagined, I think is what I called it earlier. But I think that's what helped give me the idea of Reborn, or Reimagined. Anyway, we have the instances to do. Normally I would love to do them in group size first. This is a really not the best setup with the camera here. There we go. Eventually I am going to move that cat cam. Right now it's a little bit of a point of cat rubbing against knocking over, bonking all over the place. That's a little much for me. But anyway, I am currently set up for a blue line warden, which I don't necessarily intend to spec into first, but because this is my blue line spec, number 2 there, I'll do that one, and then red line we can do number 1. And I also want to equip my red line gear. I do actually have new gloves. I happened to run a delving with a friend once, and I pretty much got my fill of delvings. We ran like 3 or 4, but I did get a piece of gloves. I already have gloves, but these ones I think have slightly more optimal stats. Basically trade off finesse for a little bit overall improved stats numbers. But I do need to double check that. But I think the new ones I got would be slightly more efficient with the right essences. Got power potions. Ooh, those power potions. I think they adjusted the numbers, but that seems kind of weak. Maybe that's intentional, but that's like, that would be about 20% of a relatively default level 140 power pool, which to me seems fairly weak. Okay, so this cat is making this difficult right now. But okay, I'm set up for redline. I wanted to equip my pieces of gear for redline because there are a couple OP earrings. The ones that you actually get that give you XP boosts have, as far as earrings I have run into on this character, the best stats out of any. And the only reason I had the other earrings is they were technically better for tanking and give me good, like the big weakness of the scaling earrings and scaling back item is that they are low on vitality. Otherwise they have really high stats. Okay, so we're speccing redline. I'll probably do, so one thing actually, oh, this is something that it's gonna take a moment, but one thing I want to check, Unnerving Strike is an easy way to check, is if melee damage affects bleeds now, because I know they were doing a lot of changes to things like that, And in the past, things like melee damage or spear gambit damage wouldn't actually impact the bleed portion. So that's one of the reasons I used to not actually pick spear gambit damage trait, and it looks like now they specify that it is initial damage. So I'm guessing this one won't impact the dot. Based on the description, it should not. Sometimes in LOTRO, sometimes too frequently, things do not work as... Does that work? Not really. I need to get a sturdier box. Oh boy. Oh yeah, so traits and skills do not always work exactly how they say. Seems like they've been doing a good job cleaning that type of stuff up lately, but yeah. Okay, physical mastery, we probably like that. It's a decent bit of physical mastery and I need that. But I am curious, one way to get a general idea of the effectiveness of something like that is to test it. We're just gonna focus on one ability for simplicity here. So if we get whatever tiny amount of physical mastery that is, we get less than 1%, but very slightly less than 1% more damage. So you could almost think of this, at least for, I could think of this for my character and his stats, and it's probably roughly similar for other people. About 1% per... Yeah, 1% per point, it looks like. And since that impacts everything, including ranged, I will grab that. Probably going to be spending a lot more time in ranged dance, even though I'm Redline Warden, than I would have used to. Almost, more having errors. Okay, I think the stream is still going, but OBS is complaining at me right now. It could be. No, I say I have plenty of disk space, but 28.8 gigabytes isn't necessarily plenty. An encoder error occurred while recording. Well, okay, I'm going to restart OBS, but the non-stream OBS. Blip for a second. I can definitely believe that. Okay, it's recording right now. GPU usage, everything else all looks normal and fine and dandy to me. Okay. I really need to take the time to get my storage on my computer properly managed. As in, it's work that just takes time that I haven't quite wanted to do, and I've been pushing it off and off, and I really need to actually get it done. But anyway, we can get back to the exciting stuff with the Warden here. Oh wow, we can actually just straight up... I've looked at these traits in the beta. I honestly don't know if they were all here because a lot of that stuff changes throughout beta. Some of it's half implemented. I think that was the biggest problem. It's not necessarily a problem, but with me remembering exactly how things were, with things being half implemented, I don't know what's placeholder, what's actually intended to be the way it was in beta, etc., etc. I just don't remember this trait is the point. Well, we'll probably want that. Compared to physical mastery, that's actually an interesting choice, but I think given that physical mastery impacts everything, I'd probably rather physical mastery. Light type damage for the type of content that I'm doing, I definitely expect that I'll want light type damage here. Probably can avoid morale tap damage and healing. And then dot critical chance, that's always good. And that impacts all the dots, so we'll grab that. Dot critical damage. It's probably good. I have to remind myself about the exact effectiveness of something like that, though. Lasting impressions is good. This trait is really interesting, and I think the changes to both Android Maneuver and Warden's Triumph, of all the Warden changes, I think this is one of the ones that's going to be the hardest for me to get used to, that you basically want to maintain the buffs now. But yeah, I'll go ahead and grab that. It's probably going to be harder to maintain those solo, but I'm trying to do a somewhat flexible build here. Okay, this one's skills from battle memory restore a small amount of power. I'm guessing with the power revamp that'll be useful. Recklessness. Recklessness does not increase power costs. I'm almost surprised with the changes that they've had to the power system. Hopefully we won't run into that in an annoying way today. We can get range damage. I consider that similar to melee damage at this point. Also, let's get 4 more points, 4 more % in bleed damage. Ain't more light type damage. I'm just assuming I will want that. Probably avoid shield gambit buffs. Okay, so the duration from mark target, and I'm guessing this one's diminished target, would be good quality of life, but there's other stuff I will prefer for now. Man, in the future, one of the upgrades, I don't know if I can go through, like, how long of a period I can actually go through without cat distractions, but one of the upgrades that I want to do to my setup in the future is to get a shotgun type mic, which is basically, last time I looked into it, basically a microphone that you keep far away. But then, like, I don't know, I won't have the cat doing this, I won't have an in-link microphone right in front of me, and yeah. I can also move, and I think the idea is, I've never actually played around with one, perhaps obviously, but I could like move around and my voice would stay the same volume relatively. Alright, so next traits though. We got critical chance, I'm just assuming I want that. Actually, I really like decreased attack duration. That's actually only an assailment stance. I think that should be in the... Probably be a good idea to have that in the green text there. But... yeah, so this one's going to be increased critical rating and just range crit damage. So I think this is like it used to be, just general crit chance, and then you can get increased ranged crit damage. I'll probably avoid the last point in that for now. Finesse, I do not need last I checked. And for the content I'll be doing today, I have more than plenty finesse. Hey, Morno252. Glad you liked the Update 35 video. I feel like, I don't know, sometimes when I record videos, I feel like some are better than others, even for something I'd call relatively straightforward, like a patch review. That one just seemed to be better than other ones. Definitely want decreased. Wait. Oh. I don't think the way they have this in the text is necessarily the best, but it's plus cooldown reduction. Instead of just being like minus cooldown, having plus cooldown reduction made me think it gave increased cooldown for a second there. Maybe that was intended. Okay, we can get increased duration of debuffs. That'd be a good quality of life improvement for those, but we'll look at some other things for now. Or at least I will. So this increases the crit defense debuff from the offensive strike through unseen strike. Unseen strike being a new gambit. This increases the debuff on these. Yet they don't have a debuff. And the first rank gives plus 0%. Okay, that adds a critical defense, and then the future ranks will give increased potency. That is how it works. Sometimes you actually have to read. I know, for me at least, that's a bit of a crazy concept, but it can come in handy to read things sometimes. Alright, so definitely decreased attack duration. I anticipate that I'll put all 5 points in it, so I'll go ahead and do that. So this adds damage debuff to I don't want to worry about that right now. I'd rather get something like Battering Strikes for the crit defense debuff, assuming it's actually effective. And this is Javelin, skills, and gambits have resistance penetration, but if you have enough finesse, ideally you won't need any resistance penetration like that. So I will ignore that one for now, and I think we can get... double check what all these were since we've gone through so many. Let's see. Suppression, Battering Strikes. I have to remember what all the gambit chains is. No Respite, don't know what that one is off the top of my head. I guess I thought these by default had debuffs. Maybe you have to actually put points into this. Yes, okay. So you have to put 1 point into each of these to get the debuff. So maybe I'll do that. Just put 1 point into those and we'll have all those debuffs. I also think it could have been a blue line thing, but one of them had these guys give an outgoing damage debuff. That's probably this one. And then Javelin of Deadly Force, I think, is made a lot more useful in this because it will apply the marked and diminished target debuffs in AoE. So that will be nice. And then Android Maneuver will remove the induction of your next ambush. Android Maneuver is this gambit, which you actually, it seems like we'll want to maintain for the decreased attack duration buff and whatever else it might potentially do. Increased duration, and yeah, just decreased attack duration. It also does give finesse. But if you use that, it costs 2 points though. That's something to be aware of when you put trait points into something like the L-Line Warden now is how many trait points you have to actually spend to get certain traits. So that one's 2 trait points. I probably will avoid that for now. I'll go ahead and get the outgoing damage debuff. Yeah. Maybe I'll get debuff duration. I have a lot of those. Fire at Will gives, it's a percentage boost to damage. It used to be not just tactical mastery and physical mastery, but now also decreased attack duration. It has a 10-second duration. That's not very long. It's got about roughly 15-ish% uptime with a 10-second duration and 1 minute cooldown. Okay. Gambit builders have a chance to reset Javelin skills cooldown. I think the skill you'd want to reset most would actually be Javelin of Deadly Force. For 2 trait points, I'll go ahead and take that. Hope you all enjoy seeing my thought process though, as I go through some of these traits, just being exposed to them almost for the first time. Of course, a lot of these I have seen in the beta, but even though this is something I would have maybe done or wanted to do a little bit more in the beta, I just didn't do much of actually playing around with what I could put where. So let's see the outgoing damage debuff. Let's apply this so we can actually see some of the stuff that's going on. There's the Desolation, oops, wrong button. Desolation debuff, for example. -1% outgoing damage, so we could get that to 3% outgoing damage. I don't think these debuffs stack from the different gambits in the sequence. I think that applies to also Battering Strikes, which we can see what that one does. Which is minus 33,300 crit defense. At this point, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm probably prioritizing what I want out of my gameplay. Probably won't want that right now. And what oh yeah, we want to definitely put 5 points on this guy. Let's get the actually good stuff for a second here. And then if I don't need finesse, don't want those buffs, probably don't want Spear Gambit initial damage. So with Spear Gambit initial damage, oh, I actually want to test something with that. But the initial damage on these gambits, we have Unseen Strike there. And Unnerving Strike here, you see it's not all that much. One thing that is worth considering perhaps his cauterizing steel, I think is our strongest upfront damage spear gambit. And it does consume power attack, mighty blow, unerring strike, similar to unseen strike, consuming the Warcry gambit line. It's still just increasing the initial damage on those is so little compared to the damage over time that your other gambits do. Like this one does, compared to unerring strike, these do only a little bit more than 1 tick of damage, which is just not that much. And getting 10% extra on that, yeah, it'd be a boost, but there's probably other stuff that I would tend to prefer. And I think tend to, what matters more, get more use out of it, essentially. I maybe should check at some point what is in the blue line, but I don't think there's anything that really boosts your damage in that anymore. There used to be a couple good traits in there, is about how I would evaluate it. There used to be a trait where you evaded an attack, you'd reset your gambit mastery, so that was kind of nice. If you're playing solo Warden, it should not typically apply in group content, of course. And then there was also the light damage buff. But yeah, I'm thinking we'll put 4 points in that guy, 4 points in that, and how about 4 points in this? We definitely want rapid techniques. Hold up. There we go. That's better. I can't believe I just completely missed rapid techniques there. Maybe because I didn't have enough point spin in the yellow line, but this is my temporary initial first trial build with update 35 Warden, and Stands in the Fire. Even though Warden is Greek to you, glad it's still at least interesting. Okay, the exciting part's done. We have a build. Now we have to actually like play it and go through content and the such. Also have to check my Discord notifications because that red 1 in the bottom right will be bothering me. Okay, there we go. What's a good one to start off with? One of the 3-mans? Should we just try the 3-man? Yeah, why not? Theriscar. Okay, I've done the Poison Garden, so maybe we'll start with one that I have already run, just so, like, if I'm trying to solo the 3-man version just for fun, that way at least, like, this one I at least know somewhat where to go. If y'all saw the beta experience with that, I did have 2 helpful people join me, and carry me might be the better way to put it, because I was just like messing around with the Warden and testing different things while they actually did all the work. Okay, so I have no idea how to play the Warden anymore, but that's okay. Never Surrender, we'll go ahead and put that up. Also, if I'm actually trying to solo this, I probably should do it in the blue line, but if I just get totally smushed, I can easily switch to the solo version. But, oh, it's so weird that I can just do, wait, can I do? Oh no, wait, Resounding Challenge has a 20-meter radius? I do not remember that from the beta. Dr. Fellow, you're wondering about the hardcore captain run. Tentatively, Saturday. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, probably Saturday. Okay, these guys actually do have some health. Gotta give them credit on that. Now, okay, didn't, yeah, okay. They have some health, but I have to remember I'm playing a Warden and my damage comes in damage over time for him. Do I want to play this a safe way? Nah. Okay, I'm gonna do one more Gambit. I should probably put combat analysis up, I'm just lazy. But I'm gonna do Unseen Strike here, and the AoE guys died, so I don't think it would end up being worth it. Also should probably have tried to interrupt him, but actually is a good point. What Gambits interrupt anymore? Don't mind that we're in combat. The boot still interrupts. I think the waters are bad to step in. The boot interrupts. Onslaught does not interrupt. And yeah, I think... Here, let's get this guy to be safe. We do have a debuff on him now, though. I think this line also provides a debuff. And we have one more debuff from this Gambit line. Oh, hey, Aldred. Glad you were able to make it. I saw your message earlier, but you said can't wait for the live stream. We also have advanced technique stuff, rapid techniques here. Is that our only advanced techniques ability? Wait, do we even have any advanced techniques abilities? I thought we would have, but oh, I know apparently. But yeah, let's do removed mastery cooldowns for this guy. See what sort of damage we can output with that. Also, this is very random to be talking about so late. Oh, that's bad. What do I have to heal? I don't think there's any point in going through the... Oh boy. Or is this the roots doing this? Okay, there's a good chance I die here, but we can try to avoid that. Let's get her. Yeah, I'm about to go down. Wait, I have potions? Maybe? Well, I got a little crazy. I'm glad I've met some resistance in this instance, though. Like, this character, for a tier 1 3-man, like, I should be able to easily handle it in a 3-man group. But I guess his stats, I can't really have the excuse that my character stats are not even an excuse, but I can't just say that my character stats aren't great anymore. Because when I did the virtue boost for this character, when I used the virtues, for people that missed it maybe, from the Valars that I got, or have gotten in the game, I just used all the virtue XP from those on this character, not the characters that I boosted. So his virtues are actually really good, and that gave huge stats. Virtues are... Oh, this is an old thing. I can't... That's not a combo anymore. Oh yeah, there's also the spear. The fifth spear. This thing is strong. It does like 500,000 damage or something. Here, I'll save it for this healthy guy. We'll see what that dot does, and I don't know, do other random stuff for a second. So what I'm curious also is the minus 2% incoming melee damage. Can you all see that? That's what that guy does. Okay, that did about, for real world numbers, about 760k damage. Spear of Fate or whatever that's called. Conviction seems reasonable for DPS spec. Restoration, assuming it's the same numbers, that's actually a good thing to check. As far as I know, they should be the exact same based on what it sounded like it should be, but who knows. Okay, I'm actually impressed that they are the exact same. Good job, Standing Stone Games. There is wonky stuff in beta, I'll say, with that. Oh, I have quests to do. Okay, I probably do need to travel out and about. Alright, should I switch to blue line? Here, I need a pull for you all. I'm probably gonna have a ton of pulls. This is gonna be a short pull though. Should I switch to blue line and big AoE? It's gonna take me a minute. Just to be clear, it will take me a minute to set up the spec and do the traits, kind of like I did with Redline. So there will be a pause in the action if I do that.
Time to see what Ogre sorceries have brought.
Oh, I have to fight both of these guys? Okay, let's kill the elite first. I need to use Javelin of Deadly Force. I'm not used to that. Here, let's use both of these. Yeah, I think battle memory is going to be a lot more useful in AoE situations. Or like cleaving situations. It already was, but I don't know, it just seems like it'll be even more so than I'm used to. I think I can, using Spear of Fate more frequently, I think that's something I need to do. And okay, he's dead. Hello? Ooh, there we go. Oh, I am running the 3-man version, so it is actually good to point out I did not get good loot from the 3-man version. Okay, we have 9 votes. That's not that many, but... Power cost is way different, melee versus ranged restoration. Okay, this is melee. That's a little over 10% of my power, wow. I guess if they want heals, that's actually not a bad thing to cost a lot of power. But let's see, I was looking at the healing numbers. The damage, oh wow. Damage numbers will be off because your melee and ranged weapons are inherently different. I also, well actually I do have plus 10% ranged on both of those, but for speccing in, well actually that doesn't even apply. Okay, there's nothing for speccing in. Spear Gambit initial, well that won't impact it, shouldn't impact it. It's not even Spear Gambit. That's Spear Gambit initial damage, plus 5% melee damage here. Uh-oh. I don't know how long y'all couldn't hear me, but sorry about that. Essentially, I don't know what's completely accounting for the discrepancy, but I was talking about the traceries. I should probably check them out at some point. That is essentially what I got to there. I didn't really find anything. The main interesting thing was there's a tracery for, where did it go? Ambush run speed. That is a hilarious tracery. I could see some people having fun with it though. I don't want to say like if you think that's actually good tracery that it's just inherently bad, because it's like can make you run faster after using ambush, but I just find it to be a funny one. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh yeah, so I get 5% extra melee damage, but that alone I don't think actually accounts for the damage discrepancy between these, was the whole point. But yes, the power costs. The ranged one costs a little bit over 20% of the power of restoration, which is kind of crazy, the difference between those. Again, I was thinking that it could make sense with restoration with the power changes, just be, oh, wow. Celebration of Skill, that one costs a lot of power, 14,600. Oh, that's the, wait, what? That's the range version. What's the melee version on that? This is weird. Should the range one? And this one, the range version, okay, yeah, the damage is similar. Should they even have different power? I wonder if that's intended. Wow, safeguard. This is melee safeguard. Let's do these in a way that makes sense. There we go. It's hard to click sometimes. Oops, wrong one. I gotta check the whole line now. Okay, power-wise. So the ranged restoration costs a ton less power than everything else. And to me, it makes sense that the heals would be a little bit high on power cost just because I think that if there's anything it makes sense to limit based on power is self-heals, especially as a DPS. If I were a tank warden, I don't think I'd like to see those so high. I, from just playing, don't know if it's actually that high with how quickly you may or may not restore power. My power is going to be about 1,000 per second. So it's not impressively high. It takes me about 120 seconds. That means just going on ICPR with nothing else. But anyway, yeah, it's weird the power discrepancy between these. The ranged ones all cost more power except for ranged restoration costs way less. But yeah, I don't know if I like that the ranged ones cost more power. If the point is to bring these in line with each other, it seems like they could cost the same, because I think having faster animations and, say, higher damage makes up for the difference between just being melee and ranged, the kind of quality of life there. Anyway, we can get moving on. Most people voted I should switch to blue line, though. I'll try to be a little bit quick with the building here. There's a lot more going on, though. Yeah, I thought I was supposed to have the way of skills. Is that a blue line thing? Because I thought I should have had that on the red line as well. Maybe not, I don't know. Warning shot, we'll keep that up there. Restorative shield work, okay. So, persevere gambit line healing, we love that. Oh, fist gambit damage. I could have gotten that on my red line build. Oh well. Defiant challenge, we like that. Yeah, range and tactical damage reduction, we like that. I find it funny you're forced to get 2% fist gambit damage. As much as I love that, I don't think that it's actually a good thing. Yeah, I'd probably prefer things redistributed. Why am I having trouble saying that word? Redistributed to avoid that. Let's see, I get that guy. Crit defense we'll probably want. Deflection gambit increases threat. Yeah, we'll get 1 point on that. I'm not grouping right now, but oh, not Tugrio, just Tugro. We got probably eventually want that. Like, we'll want anything defensive. I'm guessing we can actually look at the L line before we put the points in something like that. Wait a minute, resounding challenge builds instant threat instead of damage over time. We do not want that. I do not want that, at least. Yeah, Warden, I suppose some parts about it could be seen as similar to a champion and medium armor. Okay, increased buff duration. Wait, this is... Hold up. This is only for 2 length gambits. So I'll avoid that for now. Shield gambit line healing. If it were like more than just the 2 length gambits, what 2 length gambit buffs are there? Persevere, impressive flourish, whatever this thing is called, defensive strike. Oh, that's actually not even a defensive buff anymore. That's right, those don't do anything. Seems kind of silly. sometimes silly is a good thing, so just to clarify, I don't mean silly in a good way now. How about morale taps? I actually have no idea how strong those are now. Exaltation Battle, 27,000. That does not seem impressive, to be honest. 46,000. Yeah, that's did they nerf the morale taps? Somehow I remember them being stronger. I'm kind of shocked that they'd actually be weaker. Plus 20% on that? Maybe I'm used to it with plus 20%, but I like my morale tap, so we'll try to make good use of those. Okay, those look good. And then for yellow line, it's probably going to be pretty similar to the stuff I picked in red line, just more oriented towards anything that improves my tanking capabilities, of course. Actually, I should focus solely on tanking stuff and debuff stuff, probably. What was this guy? Yes, decreased attack duration. Finesse, I would definitely want to make sure I'm, like, up on, but... yeah, let's get that guy. This... Fire at Will, still just, like, good to have. I could actually see myself wanting Android Ambush more so in blue line than the other specs, but... we'll do Snapshot. And I'd like to boost my damage, but... okay, we don't want Fist Gambit damage. I would rather just have light type damage, but I'd probably rather crit chance over any of those. It's actually a close call, I would say, but crit chance can... I assume that would increase my tactical crit chance, which should increase the... wait, that's not a thing. That technically is down here, but let's just see. Sorry, this is a new moment for me. Yeah, so my heals can... I actually would rather one more point in that than something else. Probably... no, I had to get 1 point in Warcry, that's right. Yeah, I'd probably redo this to get 1 more point in Bullseye. Let's see, Conviction. That is actually very similar to the red line heal. Oh well. Alright, let's... yeah, Warden definitely far from weak. It was far from weak before, but now it's even further from weak. Based on my first impression of the beta. I was supposed to do big AoE here, and there are only 2 orcs. Like, I'm in range stance. What's the point of being in blue line if I can't do that? This new resounding challenge, I keep repeating this, I feel like, but it really is going to take a while to get used to a lot of these changes. Let's see how much removing this stuff does. Not terrible, but just like basing the strength of it on that little look. Can't really do that. Like, even if I saw his health go down by 400,000, there was a lot of other stuff going on that I can't really say, yeah, removing those things did 400,000 damage. Which, if I just look at the numbers of the individual dots there, that could actually be decent if it was the case. Desperate Combat. I think this will turn into a different ability that does different things with advanced technique. Alright, I'm gonna try to give you all the AoE that was promised. I'm hoping... well, I'm in range stance apparently. That's okay though. That actually is maybe a good thing. Here we are. I just wanted to make sure the roots were somewhat taken care of. Alright, well, let's press this guy, see what it turns into. Oh, it's this ability that's turning into... hey, that's a 3-second stun! Warden's having an AoE stun, that's kinda neat. Alright, I'm going to go for some burst damage here. See how that went. There was... wait, did that just not land? The gambit wasn't consumed, so I'm going to guess that just completely didn't land. How about some defensive buffs? There's that guy, and then there is this guy. I think both of these are useful. Sorry I keep calling these traits and skills guys, but when I don't know their name, I'm just trying to talk about them in a hurry. I guess that's how I refer to things. 20% light bonus from blue and red are gone. From blue line there is no longer a 20% light bonus. From red line there still is a 20% light type. And in yellow line there's another 20% light type now. I really like that new melee resounding challenge. Compared to what I saw of it in beta, it is different. I think it was kind of almost like a copy of the ranged version, just shorter range, from what I remember at least, in the beta. And now it's actually like, has a unique effect in melee, where it's a pretty large AoE radius, but short range. Alright. But yeah, there was my big blue line AoE pull. I was hoping for a bit more, but still something. Also, I'm not used to doing quests in instances. I'm actually, oh, apparently I did miss a guy. Oh well. But yeah, I actually think it's great that there's questing content. Like, as a first time through this on this character, it's nice to actually have quests in here, but I'm just not used to it in instances like this. Oh, so much lag with getting it. There we go. I tried so many times to build that one gambit. I think we're already ready for Spear of Fate again. Sounds like this was from a solo version of one of the 3-mans. If anybody is curious, that's actually item level 480. That is higher than the delving from a... You can only run the solo version on tier 1, so that's pretty impressive. Also, why isn't this gate opening? Oh, there we go. I just had to step forward. Alright, do you all think I will live this fight? If I actually remove my debuffs in somewhat reasonable time, maybe. Alright, I do like to actually see the ticks from the morale taps. That makes them seem a lot more impressive than just being like, yeah, the numbers don't like particularly impressive. But sometimes you just gotta feel things, actually play them. It's like an expectations versus reality, but this time reality is actually better than my expectations. That was a pretty neat burst. Of course, I lost all my damage from it, but I guess that's a cost of actually trying to... Oh yeah, these guys are starting to pack a little punch. I guess the big guy is getting a big damage buff, but I can heal easily now, I think. If I don't lag, I can. Yes, resounding challenge, it should be impacted by this gambit damage booster. If I were looking to build a more damage-oriented tank, I of course would have done this build differently. I would have gotten light type damage here, and I would have gotten fist gambit damage here. I just would have gotten both of those. Okay, I actually was not 100% expecting to survive that, so that was pretty nice. Looks like we had one vote while I was on that. Part Williams. I wish I had some reward to give you, but you were right. I haven't even equipped my tank gear, which is really just these two earrings and... Oh, apparently I had my tank shield equipped the whole time. Oh well. And I think pocket item. Oh, also had my tank pocket item equipped the whole time. Scythe Sting. Oh, mobs here. Ooh, this is a dense camp. Nice. But you know what I like more than a dense camp? Dense camp plus an extra camp of mobs. Oh no, not the roots. I was gonna say plus another camp, and then I saw the roots here. I forgot they were here. Okay, we got this though. Don't worry. I'm gonna go ahead and use this guy because we've used plenty of gambits, so I should have no problem with that. I don't know what I just pressed, but sure. You know, I haven't checked. Did they change the number of targets between these? Because Brink of Victory used to not be 9 targets. I'll put it that way. Alright, do I go for burst damage? Hold up, never surrender. This guy. Oh, where's never surrender? There it is. Okay, I know how to heal. Morale taps. I'm trying to do many different things. I haven't even used my shield buffs that much. Those are actually... They were already pretty decent before, but with the new shield buffs, those are actually very effective along with Dance of War and the other one that I just used. I know at least at a surface level, those ones are pretty good. It looks like, yeah, Maddening Strike, I don't know about that one. Impressive Flourish, also don't know about that one. But all the other buffs that I just cycled through there might even be more. Did they have... No, they actually did get rid of those, so they're only 3 length ones, I think. Okay, I'll try another burst. James White, you are loving the Warden, but Blue Line Guardian's your favorite so far. A lot of people like Guardian, which is a great thing because it's a good solid tank. Nice to have one in groups. That's why I always say when I'm like personally not the biggest fan of something like playing the 2 big support specs, so the Yellow Line Burglar and Yellow Line Lore Master, I definitely love that people actually enjoy them, and you know, we have people in the game that play the support roles, which really helps. And group content, of course. Okay, I should probably be easiest to do this in the range dance. And just more or less kind of... Oh, this one wasn't hit by Resounding Challenge. Oh, didn't want to go in the pool. I was trying to be lazy for a moment here. I somewhat stance well. Right now I'm just being particularly lazy, which is something I used to do a lot. So weird that that does damage over time in range stance. I love it. Alright. I think this is for this particular instance. We've done half of those. It looks like I did finish one of the quests in here though, so that's nice. There still is a chance, like targeting stuff. So this boss fight was bugged. I don't remember if we actually got through it. I think we did, but there was no loot. But yes, last time I did this, it was bugged. In the beta. This is the only instance I ran in beta, so I'm not 100% sure what the fight's exactly supposed to be like when it's working. I don't remember it. The working version versus the non-working version. Like, I mainly remember the non-working version is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's probably too high at 1 million morale. I kind of... Numbers are... The rough numbers I was thinking from beta was about 500, 600k, it could be worth using. If you have all your dots, that is, that's when it could be worth using the consumers. So, kind of at that point. But yeah, I already have enough keybinds on the Warden. Speaking of clicking, it would be really difficult to also have the stances on keybind. I also think it honestly would make me less efficient. I know people always talk about clicking being bad, yada yada yada, but there are certain situations where I actually think, at least for me, I am faster clicking. Way of the fist. Yeah, let's do that. How about Fire Will? I haven't used that in a while. Now let's use some bleeds. Oh hey, we have some ads. Should I interrupt him? Okay, that's actually a long induction. If I had floating aims on, what's it called? Acidic Swipe, so it's probably some frontal damage that I could kind of run away from if I had to. Okay. Use this guy. So this one gives me, I actually don't know what this does, but any blow that... Try that again. Any blow that gets past my shield, so any attack will heal me, basically is what that did. Also don't remember what buffs I use, so we'll just use them all. Alright, let's start doing some damage again. Oh wow, she fully healed up. I am running low on power. Not the most exciting thing, but I guess it's notable. What is for the free peoples? That's actually a pretty big damage reduction now. Could be partially because I have some advanced techniques built up, but I think I'll go ahead and use that. I like that this fight is like a little bit tougher, but it's really putting a showcase of my newbiness out here. Okay, ideally if I keep the Dark Before Dawn maintained, I should never run out of power. As 16-second duration, and I did not actually see how much power it restored. That ain't a power restore. There we go, about 5,000, okay. Absorbed. Let's see. Corruption. Oh, I just interrupt? Or is that the corruption that we can't interrupt? Being a warden and spamming corruption removals. Oh, that actually interrupted her, okay. Don't you love mechanics and, you know, actually paying attention to them? Can't forget melee resounding challenge. I guess that would just be called resounding challenge. Seems to be similar to surety of death levels of damage. Definitely less than desolation. Let's see, have I used Spear of Virtue yet? That one's pretty strong. I think the strongest single target gambit for a blue line warden would be Spear of Fate. That's getting close to 400k damage with my numbers. Let's compare that to the bleed. I haven't paid too much attention to the actual gambits I'm using, if y'all cannot tell. Venom Cap. Okay, I doubt that I'm intended to kill those. They probably self-destruct, which it looks like that is the case. Okay, I'm going to use... Oh. Should use battle memory with this, but I think this is the last corruption already. When you're playing a warden, you basically have as many corruptions as 3 people anyway. Wow, I can use more gambits. That was actually, like... I haven't spent much time actually trying to spam gambits a ton, gambit builders a ton with rapid techniques, but I was able to use quite a few there. Oh, this is bad. Sort of animal. Very angry Yorn sapling. Alright then. Let me just get some AoE heals on them. I almost want to keep them alive just for the morale taps. That is the old Warden way, anyway. Oh, I had a corruption level stuck in battle memory. Oops. This instance is a little bit, it's bringing my FPS down a little bit. I'm quite used to that. I think I just used this, didn't I? Yeah. It's a little bit of a long fight, but for anybody that has maybe missed this, I am running the 3-man version, just because I thought it'd be fun to do that challenge. Oh. I was not paying attention to her health, so I actually have no idea where it went. I don't remember ever doing enough damage to kill her, but alright then.
I greet you with joy.
No, we do not want to talk to her. Yeah, we want to. Does she help me leave? Okay, no. I was like, I need to loot the chest. That was actually the big thing. But... oh, cosmetics. Hey, these are the cosmetics we looked at before. That's actually nice that they drop in the instance. I'm guessing any tier, because, like, to me, not just any tier, but any size. But yeah, going to take a minute to wrap up the quest, but it wasn't the fastest thing, but I feel like this was a great thing to actually get me used to the Warden changes compared to A, running this in a group, and B, honestly, compared to what I expect running the solo version would be like. But I'm thinking the next one I might do the solo version to more or less get through it and experience the actual instance a bit more. Just because this one, again, I have done in the beta as many times as I've repeated that. So we're collecting samples of the water. To an extent, I have to wonder why. Like, do we want to actually know how bad it is instead of just knowing it's bad? Can I not just report it does? The water does 77,682 damage. Do the NPCs not care about that? Hey, those are mobs back there. Okay, we got all the witch's crown. But we still have plenty of water spots that I somehow missed throughout this entire thing. I got my first water spots, of course, after the boss. There's also Adder's Tooth here. There's another plant, actually. Imagine that, another plant. But I mean another plant for... was that a deed, maybe? It didn't come on my quest tracker, so I'm guessing it's a deed. I wonder what the... ooh, reward track. What the... what am I thinking? I don't know. Oh yeah, deeds are like for these instances. This instance cluster. I need to get better keybinds for some of these cooldowns, but for just a quick use, I guess the way I'm doing it works. Oh, I should heal. But hey, I have emergency skills to make up for my lack of paying attention and just full DPS focus now. think that's really where the Warden revamp's going to come in big for me, as it lets me kind of doze out. I don't know why I had to think so hard about if that was the right term. But yeah, sort of lets me doze out and not pay attention for a moment. Doze off. I don't know. Did I get all the... Oh, I did get all the water spots. And I think that route can stay here. At least one of them deserves to stay, right? So there's a new earring from the instance. I wonder if that would finally be one to challenge the scaling earrings. It does come with eventually... Wow, that was... wait, what was that? 314,000 ICPR? There's no way that's right. Is it 314.123? Ew, portents. Wait a minute, that's not new gear. Anyway, if that gives 300,000 in combat power regen, then I think those will be getting the set bonus on that will probably be the best thing in the game until they nerf it. Okay, this gave, this is into, so this is the first quest, but it gives an essence box and 1,000 virtue XP. That's pretty good. Virtue-wise, how am I doing? Okay, I got loyalty capped, which is pretty good. That's the important one. Probably fidelity next. Although I should do valor, but I've become a sucker for vitality lately. I feel like once I hit that 1 million health threshold and got my virtues up, again, using the boost from the Valors for anybody that might have missed that, I just like, I have this fascination with trying to get my health as high as possible. I don't do it at the cost of like losing actually useful stats, but it's just fun to chase higher health numbers at this point. Now that my character is actually in a situation where he can somewhat feasibly do that. Let's see, we cleared everything out, so yeah, I think next up would just be the next 3-man. Let's see, this is the 6-man, so let's do the 3-man. I'll just do solo version this time. We gotta check out what the solo loot is. Like, maybe you get gear in the solo version, but not the 3-man version.
The terrible legacy of Anaya Khan the Harrower.
Hey, this is the Corsair looking guy.
Carn Dûm. Anaya Khan worked tirelessly to outdo his rivals.
Is there a downstairs, or
Sword of Angmar,
is that like
chief among
stuck
his
way
tales,
down in the ground?
spell creations, was a
Ooh, goblins. This one's actually indoors. I think environment-wise, this looks much more like what I would imagine a dungeon is supposed to look like. The Poison Gardens I don't think is inherently a bad instance, but it's just like, it's very cluttered, and I'm not always the biggest fan of cluttered instances and cluttered spaces. And sometimes, if I had one criticism of LOTRO world building, is while it makes it realistic, sometimes the clutter is more annoying than not. From a gameplay perspective, so it can definitely look neat, and like I said, it adds to the realism and I think the general aesthetic, a general look they're going for. But sometimes it interrupts the gameplay, perhaps a little bit much for me. Oh, we're in the solo version. Here, I'm thinking I'm in the 3-man version. There are elites in the solo version though, that's kind of weird. Like I did do solo, right? Okay, everything I target is downstairs still. Oh, never mind. Was I supposed to have an NPC here helping me? Because I know that's a common thing in instances like this. Because otherwise it would be as far as I know, pretty similar to the 3-man version, just you have an NPC helping you. But maybe they just have elites here. That is possible. Maybe the goblins would be like signatures. Yeah, I guess I use these. How's this morale tap? Oh, that's not a morale tap anymore, that's right. For anybody that is confused, offensive strike, as you know, it very much so sounds like it based on the name, used to be a morale tap, and now it is not, and it's actually like an offensive strike. Maybe they gave me buffs for being in here solo, but I don't see any of those either. We do have a plus 25% welcome back weekend. Seems like that's a good idea to line that up with an update like this. God, I think the biggest thing might actually be the crafting XP there. Oh, and legendary item, of course. Can't discount the LI XP with the reward track now. I think that's actually, with this character, I already mentioned LIs a little bit, but that's probably the one long-term thing, even compared to gear, where I could really use some upgrades. I think you see my javelin has Heraldry of the Ox, which is not ideal. I do actually have Heraldry of the Swift Serpent. Wait, I don't think that one's ideal either. But I at least have an agility one on my spear. I still have a might one on my... Did they change carvings at all? I don't think they did. Yeah, based on the one I have, it looks the same as before. But yeah, I can make a Word of Craft focus, which isn't useful for me. Okay. So it seems to be all there was up here on this side, so we'll head down, of course. Oh, do I have to jump down? Am I missing something, or is the mechanic to actually jump downstairs? I feel like I had to have missed something, right? I don't actually remember heading here. Oh yes, there we are. Can you even jump down? Okay, actually cannot jump down. Oh, do you have to go through this door? I feel like I have to go through the other side, but yeah, this door doesn't open. Hold up. I thought I tried that when I saw the door, even though it was closed, just because the last instance had it open. But I'm guessing the intention is for you to go over here, maybe? No. Well, I have another quest item here, but find a way to the lower level, unlock the door to the lower level. I guess I can turn on floating names. Strange lever. There we go. Oh wow, I have to go back up there. They actually do have this as a jumping puzzle challenge, maybe? I don't know, it's not much of one, but kind of neat to see that in the game. The way is open. Question is, what way? Ah, this way. Here's our lovely green Carn Dûm colors I was expecting. Oh, is Resounding Challenge frontal? No, okay. I don't know why I didn't hit things the first time. So this just seems to be a big area of mobs and lag. Okay, I'll have some items to pick up back here, but again, the whole point of, well, if I don't get rooted, the whole point of playing the blue line is that I can do big AoE. So that's where we came from. Got some cauldrons here, which I don't know, maybe those are for a quest. I think eventually these trolls will go down with my AoEs as I run around, but I think I rounded up pretty much everything and we will be ready for a whole lot of clicking again. That's the thing when you do instances like this or do big AoE pulls, this is true when questing, but I think especially instances where mobs don't run away and don't respawn, is you end up with this weird dynamic where you just spend a lot of time in combat and then a whole lot of time out of combat as you're sort of picking up the slack that you left behind. All I know with Happy 32323 is Desolation. Or is that's today? Never mind. I'm a little bit slow. Not used to date formats being... I was gonna say like that, but... I thought I already got this one. It's been used too recently. Do I have to use these in a certain order? Or right now I am lagging, so we'll see. Oh, did it not actually use? The cauldrons bubble and fizzle out. So I can use them again. Okay, I'm guessing you have to use them in a certain order. Let's try without lag this time though. I wonder if it would ever change the order you have to use them. I'm guessing they will fizzle out again. Yeah. Oh, that means I would have to actually remember what order I've used them in. I'm kind of just going however I wish at the moment. I'm sure people have already discovered this and gotten it. We'll just try a circle this way. But yeah, going through all the combinations, and it's been so long since I've ever actually done anything with permutations, but maybe that would be the right word. I wonder if there's anything that would actually indicate, though, like in the game, what order to use them. Because this is something that I could go through, but if that even is the actual way through it. But maybe there is something that indicates what order you're supposed to use them. Okay, so the order corresponds with the braziers, it sounds like. Alright, we might need a reread, because I do not know what they're talking about with that yet. The braziers hanging from each door in this room will signify a solution. Okay, so I have to find each door in this room. So this guy will signify a solution. That's the way I'm interpreting it, but there's currently no clear indication for me. Well, anyway, this one's red. I don't know if that matters. This one does not have a brazier. So Resounding Challenge, I think, has some upfront damage, but it's not that strong. Okay. Okay, can continue to pick up items, but yeah, all I see as far as braziers hanging from ceilings above doorways, let me double check, triple check actually that that's what it said. Oh, wait a minute. It will... That's all I needed to do was scroll down. I was just like, okay, you have to actually look at the doorways. Each door in the room, even though one of the doors in the room doesn't even have one of those, but there are actually a few different orders. So it looks like you have two with Scythe Spew, which I think I've tried. I might have actually tried two with Scythe Spew, but none of the ones after that go to this one, Adder's Blood. So we'll just go with the top one here, and then Orgleaves, Orgslather. That will be right here, and then the one on the left, and this should, according to that note, let us continue. I also think there might be more quest items up to the north. Distant gate opens. Oh, hey, puzzle box. It's neat you get a chest from it, but it's like... I don't know, all it took was actually reading the thing. But I think for the general progress in the instance, always happy to have a chest, so make that clear. How have I not picked this up? I feel like I clicked so many items right here. Oh, they're all the same thing. Cat is back. Okay, so I believe this is... I think it said a gate opened, but this looks more like a door. Oh no, it did say a door open, and then further past... Wait, no, it says a distant gate opens, the door has opened, and then somebody must be past the gate. I think one more game that I should have that. So it gave me 1% damage over time. I'm a little bit confused because I didn't think that was the buff. I should have got him from that. Oh, is this a boss? This does appear to be a boss. How about this buff? It's very minor buff. Oh, it's a relatively short cooldown skill though. It's a 10-second cooldown and a 10-second skill, okay. Okay, so basically I just want to use gambits for a moment here and build my advanced technique, and then I can get... Ooh, don't want to use for the free peoples. That does consume advanced technique, but I was thinking mainly just have another skill, Desperate Combat. So let's check that out. I can use Desperate Fist. I want Desperate Spear, increase incoming damage. And then I'd be curious what Desperate Shield does. Let's try to get that real quick. That one, yes, gives me a force attack, but also a heal. It's not the most impressive heal, but it is a heal nonetheless. And can spam it, relatively. Alright, so this is, I'm guessing, the first boss. We'll see if I ever get cut up combat. No. Vile Tank. Oh, maybe that wasn't a boss. Or, I was gonna say maybe that wasn't a boss, but this also looks like another boss that's sort of stuck up there or something, I don't know. We'll see. This instance is slightly less straightforward than the previous one. Okay, so we did damage to him somehow. Oh, Vile Tank is back. So I guess I just gotta keep defeating these. There are 2 of them right here. Oh. Gotta be careful with the Desperate ability because Desperate Spear there changed into Desperate Fist based on the game that I used. This would be much better if I were in DPS spec. I've kind of just stayed in red line, but I haven't needed to stay in blue line this whole time. This is a really weird fight right now. As far as I can tell, just about nothing negative is happening to me. So this is purely limited by the damage I do, it seems. I don't know if it becomes more interesting in higher tiers. I suppose it would, but it's just like repeatedly destroying these Vile Tanks that just magically reappear somehow over and over. I like the decreased incoming damage from the way of the spear, but the gave it initial hit damage. I don't know that that's the most appealing thing. That won't do it. I guess I could have been working on this the whole time, but yikes. There we go. I got it done. So I have no idea. This seems like it would kind of be the end of the instance. It feels like an end of an instance, but I don't know. I still have the Vile Tanks here, but I am out of combat. But yeah, as far as I can tell, I guess I can loot this thing. Nope, never mind. As far as I can tell, that's it for instance. We do have the NPC here, and yes, can finish the quest, so there we go. Oh, there is reputation. Friend of the stewards of the Iron Home, so that's something I did not know. There was a reputation faction here. That does mean LOTRO points and whatever other potential rewards they have, so let's check deed completed. We get, yeah, some of the currency from them. And the next one will give me discount, more currency, and LOTRO points, of course. But I need 2 more vial of bile. 2 more of those, and 1 more research note. So, shouldn't take too long. I also thought I mentioned, or thought I also saw one of the developers mentioned that Forced March, they could change that to be out of combat. I don't know if that's still a plan of theirs. Okay, we need to stop looting those notes, because those are not the notes I need. That's probably how I got so many. Oh, well, there are mobs. But yeah, that is not in this update that Force March stays toggled. Like, you don't have to keep re-toggling it whenever you come out of combat. Kind of working like Find the Path for Hunters. I think it'd be a good quality of life update, but it is notably gone, at least as notably so as me finally realizing that almost 2 hours into this. Yeah, so far my first impressions of the Carn Dûm instances, they are, I think they're enjoyable from the perspective that I have had. I don't know about these 2 3-mans though, how much lasting interest I will have in them. You know, how fun they will be in a group. That is yet to be seen with me. Both of them are, I talked about this earlier, but a little bit cluttered. This one's slightly less so. And while it's interesting, the roots throwing you in the Poison Gardens one, I don't know that it is particularly a fun mechanic. I could see it being just like annoying having your character tossed everywhere without being like super careful of your pull and being perhaps diligent about taking care of those. And then the one we just did is, I don't know if I'd quite call it more enjoyable, to be honest. I feel like I actually did enjoy the Poison Gardens more, even though visually I feel like I preferred the one we just did. It had some weird parts to it though, like the cauldrons just took a second to get to, and the discovery element of that was, it was like the discovery element, it built up in excitement and then it just dropped straight down when I was like, just needed to read the notes like 1 line further. And it just revealed the answer. That seems a little bit almost unnecessary. I don't think you should necessarily have to do just that puzzle though. Ooh, level 131 tracery. I mean legendary tracery. For the 6-man, that's not bad. But yeah, I don't know that you should necessarily have to figure that out or just do it by trial and error. But I don't know, just having it just written in the note and just having to follow that is almost like a letdown type moment. It's almost how I describe it. And then the last boss, that fight was just funky and way drawn out. Like, I think that was significantly longer than it needed to be at the end there, just destroying those totems or whatever they were. I destroyed so many I should remember what they were, but that's how uninteresting they were, I guess. So I don't know what you all thought from what you saw, but that's my impression of what I saw there. Overall, though, I guess I should clarify. Overall, it was a fun experience to discover those and play through them. I just feel like that particular ending there with the one we just run was... Let's see, I want to say demoralizing almost, which sounds really weird, but that's how I ultimately feel from it. Anyway, what do we have next? I think it's a good time for me to check out the captain. In particular, there's a couple things I want to do with the captain, and it's going to be difficult for me to figure out exactly how I want to do this. So, I have a level 130 boost that I wouldn't mind using on a captain. I also have some level 120 boost that if I didn't want to waste a 130 boost on a captain, I could use it on a... I could use one of my 120 boosts on the captain. Other classes, if they... Well, see, I have a Beorning at 129. I was going to say, if they ever do a good update to the Beorning and do, like, fix, for me specifically, fix the red line, then that would be a class I'd want 130, but it's kind of pointless to boost a character one level when he already is pretty decent, to be honest. Guardian... If Redline Guardian were viable, and I wouldn't always just want to play my Warden and group content instead, and I had that interest of having like another endgame character, could do that. Which I already have my Runekeeper even. Hunter could be an interesting one, but I'd be fine at 120. So yeah, if I... Ooh, Brawler. Brawler could be 120 as well. I don't care that much for that one. So yeah, I'm thinking level 130 boost for my captain. Yes. Rock, you mentioned the hardcore mode for leveling. So yes, when my character dies, this hardcore, specifically meaning if the character is defeated, then he will be... The idea is that he will be deleted, but maybe not ever played again. Almost go on like a sort of spectator mode, where I just want to play him. Probably would ultimately end up deleting him. It's hard for me to think of a character as disposable, but that's kind of the point of the challenge, is depending how long he lasts, it could be a short to medium term challenge, and just gives me a reason to level a new character and play a captain and check out the update progression from the low to high levels. For Warden progression, I do have Warden, who I'll probably dedicate a stream entirely to getting Warden situated, but we could always check him out. But yeah, other characters. Oh yeah, so Captain, uh-oh. We actually have a problem. I did not transfer my Captain from Manor. Oh yeah, I did. Here he is. I just couldn't see him. So we'll do Lego, the Captain. I think we'll get a 130 boost. I'm probably not going to be able to stream all that much more just because it is getting a tad bit late, unless I had a good snack in the middle of the stream. But yeah, just as a heads up, I think we're getting kind of close to where I'd consider starting to wrap up. But yeah, I think if I give a 130 boost to this character, I think that would be pretty good.
Hello, friend.
And we'll jump straight into very high level Captain. I have played Captain a decent bit from level 100, I guess technically 95, but 100, where I've actually run into game content specifically. I mean, I've played group content and like semi-regularly played Captain from 100 to 105 for actual group content. About level 108, I think thereabouts, is where I got my Captain on Arkenstone before he ran into Mordor issues and Captain just got more boring for me. That's how I'd end up describing it. So yeah, that is where I stopped playing him. But I think we're going to take a moment to put all my junk in here, and I'll get the Valor sent to this character, and we'll see how that goes for him. Yeah, I'm just going to put everything that's box reward thingy looking. Maps, Gunabad, key, this thing, maps. I have maps galore on this character. Oh, all these crafting scrolls I can toss to a vendor. Or cowbell. Yeah, we'll put that in here. Let's add more space. Why not? Actually have the gold. I feel like it's a miracle that like my random wallet actually has a decent bit of money on him, but because I never pay attention to gold in this game anymore. I don't know the last time I actually paid attention to any sort of gold a character has. Usually if it's I'm making a new character, I send them gold to increase their vault space if I ever even get to it. And clearly on this character, who I had quite a while on Anor, I never did get to it. We only need one Flame of Ankalamir. I should just sell it and I'll put it in there. I think these dyes are from like weekly codes because I would not buy those from the LOTRO store. I guess I can put all these boosts in here. I really need a lot of free inventory space. So that's why I want to like really get this done. The crafting update, whenever they get around to starting to more implement that than what we have seen, if we've even seen any actual hints of it or previews of it in this update with the cooking changes and whatever else they did that I honestly forget, so it's probably not that notable. It might be and I'm just forgetting it, but yeah, this is one of the characters that would, I think, greatly benefit from the crafting update. In particular, what I'm talking about is the change to vocations and professions, where you can just choose your professions and you don't actually have to worry about vocation. Wow, this is really slow putting stuff in my vault. Probably so many people on the servers ain't doing too well with it. I think I would guess that Standing Stone Games considers it a good problem to have, and that means that, hey, population's booming, there's a lot of people on. But from the player perspective, this makes me want to not play. Well, I still do want to play. It's just like I'm sitting here waiting and waiting, and I'm like, I want to do something else essentially than just sit here and try to drag these items in my vault for 10 minutes. There we go. That should be enough inventory space. Should be. Maybe. Here, let's, I'm really gonna clear out my inventory. I'm going to actually not do a terrible job at this. Or tried to not do a terrible job, I should say. Actually... yeah, okay. I'm going to keep these weapons just because potentially cosmetic. Let me see this axe. What does it look like? That's a standard enough axe. I'm willing to sell it. Shoulder pads, chest piece. Ooh, Armor of the Hornburg. That should go up here, though. Isn't this the most exciting part of a game? Matt, glad you love the Warden class, which I just sort of happened to switch to the captain from, but it is really enjoyable, and I feel like from the like leveling or fresh experience perspective, the Warden should be even better than it used to. Okay. That is a much cleaner inventory. I don't know that I've ever had this much empty inventory space on any character in the entirety of like my past few years in this game. That's crazy. Anyway, time to mess that up, and we'll start by sending him one item. And things will spiral out of control from there. There she goes. I was thinking it was Louisden that had this stuff. Louisden's, oh, his mailbox is gonna be messy. He's kind of become my junk item, bank alt, storage mule character. Do y'all hear that cat? And by that cat, I mean this cat. Okay, it is this runekeeper. Where is he? Oh, he's in or outside of. Hey, Cranog, he actually sent this. After Carn Dûm was retaken from the Servants of Iron Crown, this actually gives you the intro to it. Now the Angmar, who served the False King, still loyal. Oh, they reclaimed it of Carn Dûm again. We like left, did all this other stuff, ignored Angmar for however many years. At least 10 years, more than 10 years. But yeah, we ignored Angmar and it sounds like they retook it again. Corsair outfits. Oh yeah, there are Corsair outfits in our Ken house chest. If any viewers are in my Ken, there you go. Now you know that. Who am I sending it to? One Valor? I have 2 Valor still. So I have a level 120 and another level 120 Valor. I think all of these recent Valors, it's been a while since I've gotten one. I've only gotten them when they've been on those crazy like 75% sales, which has not happened in a very long time. But yeah, the 15th anniversary I know had some, and then I think the Before the Shadow expansion might have. That one might not have. But the Gundabad expansion did. I think the Minas Morgul expansion, when I picked that up when I was on like its 80% sale in the LOTRO market, I decided to get that and got Valars from it. So I have an excess of them, which is not a problem. So it's not even a good problem to have, but I won't even begin with problem. Also, while we are at an AFK, while we're on a loading break here, I'm actually going to just be right back real quick. I gotta check something. Okay, all is good. I have some, it's not quite yet soup broth on the stove, but just have had carrots and celery cooking this whole time as well. I just want to make sure it don't like run out of water or anything. But yeah, got my Valor, and we are having. YouTube is not receiving enough video. Oh, did I drop frames there? Is that a recent development? My internet, you all might know from my last stream, has been having issues. It started to have issues again since the last stream. There was like one evening that it was just out kaput. There was also an afternoon while I was gone at work that it was out. And then sometimes the speed has been like really bad. But seems to be going okay again now. I don't know when that was. Oh yeah, we haven't checked out Delvings. I guess I can save that for another day, maybe. I did get my town services, right? Yeah, I had to have. My jug. I did. Can I stop hiccuping? So we have the level 130 boost, we have the, I'm gonna go ahead and accept this. Okay, yeah. just get rid of that. That'll be the easiest way to deal with it. Okay, let's go ahead and use the level boost. And... yay, level 130. It's so like... I don't know. It just, you click an item and you're level 130. Wow, have I used a... oh, I did use a 130 boost. But I used it on a level 120 character, I think. I think that was my Runekeeper. He kind of got double Valard, partially with these server transfers, maybe. I forget exactly how it happened, when it happened, what the circumstances were, but... yeah, I kind of did that to my Runekeeper. Who, yes, he's different from the level 120 Runekeeper I have on Arkenstone. That's how it happened. He was my original Runekeeper on Landreval, which is kind of interesting. He was my highest level character on Landreval. And the only one I actually really played. And didn't even play that much, but yeah. Virtues of the Valar. Raylan. That'll, like, let me open the virtues box, I believe. Yep. And... probably not going to use those on this character right now. They'll go in my Safe for Virtue bank. Hey, level 130 weapons. Wait, oh, okay, you actually get 180 weapons. Teal quality. I thought they were yellow quality with the 120 Valor. That's pretty good. The item level of 430, I think was... it was not as impressive as the item level of like 405 or 400, whatever it was for the 120 Valor. That would be the equivalent of like 450. So you can see how ridiculous the 120 Valor gear was. So this is worse than that, but it's like, it's moderate for the level 130 cap. And it's gear. I mean, I think that's the best way to put it. It's just like, it's level 130 gear. You still do not get a pocket item, which I found to be strange. Also, this shield cloak. What is that cat sniffing? It's kind of concerning. Like, it makes me think there's a bug on my desk because she's just sniffing everywhere. I don't know. Sometimes cats are weird though, but when they're acting in a suspicious manner like that, I feel like it freaks me out more than them. I'm sure this is a lovely thing to hear, but one of my neighbors has, I suspect that they still have, but they had a cockroach infection, and the building here with this apartment, there's a whole lot of cracks in the walls and like easy access under the baseboards and just like to get into the walls, basically. Very easy access, multiple places, large areas. So it's very easy for them to come over here, and as gross as it is, what my cats do, instead of taking care of the problem, that's like the whole point of cats, is, well, not the whole point, but you'll get what I mean. They're... Is this shield really... oh no, that's my outfit shield. I was like, did I find another shield that looks like this? This is probably the cosmetic item that I have worked the hardest in the game to get, was the shield. I love the shield. But... yeah, one of the big points of the cats is they can just like deal with that, and I won't ever have to worry about it. Yet, they, especially the other one, Piper's like, she doesn't care as much about them. But Lexi, the one that was hearing about and left, she just stares at them and watches them like crawl under the like stove or whatever, or under the... this is another thing with like gaps and places roaches can go with this particular apartment is, I forget what it's called, but there's supposed to be this part, this thing, this like piece, board piece that goes under a cabinet that will essentially block the underside of the cabinet, but they don't quite have that. And there's actually like, I don't know, like 3.5 inches, would it be? Yeah, baseboard, essentially something like that. I think there's technically a different name, like toe kick, maybe something along those lines, specifically for cabinets. But essentially baseboard, yeah. So they have that, but it's like inset. So that, and there's nothing to seal it. So there's just like this 3.5 inch, again, I'm thinking like stud size basically, gap where, or like, yeah, there's that much room, vertical room. And then there's like very easy access ways to get in it. So that's just another place that these things can go and grow and hide. Sweet, huge pile of gold scraps that almost pays for all the vault space I've upgraded. But yeah, bugs, I'm not the biggest fan of bugs. I try to not be completely freaked out about them, but there are certain ones that I don't really like. So roaches would be one, cockroaches, because as far as I know, they don't themselves carry diseases or bacteria, but they pick it up, and I think they easily infect stuff that they touch, is my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong with that, but while they themselves are not that way, they're also kind of gross. But yeah, I don't have a big problem with them. When my neighbors had like the peak of their problem, because we have the pest control thing and all that deal, it was worse. But like there were a whole lot of baby roaches, and they're kind of ant-sized. But anyway, I'm sure I'm driving viewers away talking about this, but it's a good opportunity for me to vent about them. I don't really have that as much anymore, but occasionally I'll see like random size stragglers, is how I call them. But things like spiders, I don't necessarily like spiders, but those are ones that I at least appreciate them in comparison. I'll just put it that way. Okay, don't need riding trait. This character has that. We'll go ahead and filter these on this character. I think some people are talking about certain areas of Gondor actually being able to visually see some updates. I did a little check in beta and didn't see anything. I just know it happens to be a common slippage in this game, where you can like start to see work before necessarily intended in the game, especially the beta client. But yeah, I've heard some people talk about that, but I don't remember anything concrete. I know Scenario did a stream where he started to look at some of King's Gondor, I guess is what the zone or update will be called. Ah, snakes. I haven't really had to deal with snakes. I'm sure I wouldn't like them. The thing with some rodents, though, like mice, I guess, but the benefit rodents have with me is that they can definitely be cute. Like, if you are a creature and you are cute, there's a good chance that I will not completely freak out about you. I feel like I'm too tired to really deal with this Valor. Well, I was hoping to actually get to some captain gameplay, but I gotta be honest, it's almost 10 o'clock and I am tired. And after all the Warden playtime. Is there something very easy and quick we can run? Like, even with the absolutely terrible weapons and gear I will have. Let's not even do LIs. How about that? Captain after the revamp. That's something I have to test, but I know their solo damage is significantly, like very significantly so, higher than previously. I don't quite have a like 2 times DPS and a quantification like that, but it's a lot higher. Okay, we'll worry about all the LI stuff later. And I will just spec red line. We'll make number 1 red. And I don't know, do like school or library or something easy like that. If I were interested in boosting this character essentially to the level cap, I could also look into that. Fickle Gundu. I am in the zone for that. Okay, we still have the same trait actually. Light type damage, I think that used to be slightly different. This one's pretty similar to before. Well, I assume I'll want that trait. Increases devastating blow, light of a Lindel, pressing attack, and routing cry damage. So a few of our bigger hitters. But where we start to see some of the bigger changes, I think, is Grave Wound. I remember people were doing this in the beta, but Grave Wound, you could reset the cooldown on that and stack a whole bunch of Grave Wounds and do a lot of DPS that way. I don't know if that's still the case. That was from beta as far as I know. Hold up. I'm actually going to try to do this in order, so we have some structure. Herald and Archer damage, I'd have to actually see that. I guess, way to find out. Without going to a training dummy. That would be a better way to find out, but I do things the difficult way.
The school at Thom Neardine was once
Oh yeah, Delvins are in here. You have to actually walk forward a little bit. It's kind of scary, but you have to walk forward that amount to trigger. Okay, let's see how much damage this dude does. 61,000. I will take that. That's some pretty good damage from him. Okay, I guess I'll do a little bit to help before I actually any trait spent or anything. I don't think Shadow's Lament, it's just like a strong attack now. I don't think it really does anything, at least at the current moment. And don't worry, I will get my skills situated momentarily. Okay. But yes, he impressed me, so I'm perfectly fine boosting his damage by 60%. Okay, Telling Mark, we definitely want that. Melee skill crit damage, that should be good. Wait, that's only when we're in. That's only while we're in the battle hardened state. Okay, that restriction actually makes it lower priority for me. Well, that's something that we could easily stay in. I'd rather just something else at this point. So this is, yes, Routing Cry attack speed buff when you consume a defeat event. I do like that one. Time of Need, I'd rather that though. And then Shadow's Lament will deal extra light damage. I think that is good. But actually, yeah, I can test that, but I think we want it anyway. That was the whole point. Get increased Telling Mark damage. If I actually bothered to load combat analysis, I could easily test that, was the point though. So Grave Wound damage, if it is actually true that you can just essentially spam Grave Wound, then it'd probably be a good trait to have, but rather something more universal at this point. So here is one that Grave Wound, yeah, will spread cutting attack, and then Shadow's Lament will spread Grave Wound. Alright. Hello, Miss Bella Games. Been a while since I have seen you. It's also, I haven't streamed that frequently lately. I think with update 35, there will be a good uptick in streams again. New Carn Dûm content has been surprising. I'll put it that way. It's been enjoyable overall. But I am currently swapped to the captain. Okay, actually, I don't even see anything with Grave Wound, but maybe we'll get there later. Thought I'd check the set bonuses. Get increased two-handed damage. I don't even have a two-hander weapon right now. Technically, that is a trait that I would want. It's also possible with power issues that I could actually want something like Restraint, as unexciting as a trait like that is. Here's Grave Wound, decrease cooldown, and crit. Wait, damage? Yeah, crit magnitude for the dot. Kind of interesting. Then this is Inspire, applies to Fellowship. This is a solo captain build, just to clarify, as I ignore that. I'll go ahead and get two-hander damage, but light type damage, will probably want light type damage, but could consider getting rid of that. Plus 2.5% melee and tactical damage. Crit events, increased damage, okay. 3 points in that. Wait, this is Rallying Cry. Damage buff, okay, we like damage buff. If we need a healing mark, so 2% morale every 5 seconds, that's pretty bad value. Is there anything else in blue line that we want? Also, if y'all are curious what the captain revamp, I think I remember this, is that you can only res one person with the in combat res now. I don't think in blue line there's anything to make it immediate and make it res 2 people, or even in red or yellow line for that matter. I don't think that's possible, but there could be something for speccing into the blue line, maybe, that makes it that way. I don't know. But yeah, that's something I did just remember. The area of effect healing, tactical crit chance, probably don't necessarily want that. Standard of honor. For some reason, I feel like the standards shared cooldowns at some point. I don't know, it's kind of like a hidden mechanic. I don't know if that's something, I could be getting it completely mixed up with something else, but yeah, I don't know if that's the case, but that's just a consideration. If that is the case, that I probably wouldn't want that. Also, why did I only put 1 point of bleed damage? Let's fix that. Okay, if I apply this right now, let's see what the damage is on this. So Grave Wound's 10-second cooldown and 6.3k every second for 5 seconds. So that's like an extra 30k bleed damage. Cutting attack is a little bit slower, but it is about 50k. I don't think that's bad, but for now I will not pick the initial hand bleed damage of Grave Wound trait. Melee skill critical damage when in battle hardened. I think that's something probably worth points. But yeah, and one of the reasons I'm being a little bit conservative with trait points is I did want to look at the yellow line. Wait. Oh, that's something else. I saw the applied to self plus 6% damage on crit, but that's I believe this guy reversal here. So if I keep my crits up, then I should be able to maintain a 6% damage buff. It's been a really long time since I built a champion with this many trait points. I actually don't know if I've ever had one with this many trait points, because I had the 120 captain, but I didn't play it that much. And the one in Mordor I think had like 50 something trait points. Yeah, there we go. Max morale. Anything to boost our damage. I don't need to be conservative anymore. Let's go ahead and get me some power as well. We'll just be proactive and completely mitigate. Oh, here's the bleed skill damage. I thought there was something like that. Only took me forever to find it. Alright, the problem with building like this is that it costs me stuff in the blue line, which at least used to be the general build that I would go for a high level red captain. I think it was fairly common to get some extra healing stuff. But yeah, if I go that far into the 10% outgoing healing. Yeah, we'll double that. That's a good double point. This would be my tentative 92 trait point, so you actually would get more trait points, but this would be my tentative build for the new Redline Captain solo build. Basically get everything in the Redline, besides the one thing that's Fellowship only. And a couple key things in the blue line, and same with the yellow line, couple key things. Got some survivability baked into there, but big focus, of course, on damage. We'll get the archer out again, and we have to get rid of that guy. That's our corruption removal, so we'll move it up here. And if we're building completely for solo, like if I played captain in a group, I don't think I'd ever want to play red captain. That's not to mean that like it's not good, but that's just, I don't have interest in that. And as far as my kin goes, like if we ever needed a captain, we have so many people play captain. Standalone, here's the buff. So that will go, sure, there for now. So Cry of Fury is I think the in-combat res, as far as I can tell, that is what turns into Cry of Fury. So it's a 5-minute cooldown, debuffs enemy, heals myself. So it's like the big skill. I don't know how else to describe it, perhaps clearly. So we'll put that there. That gets me out of stuns and the such. CC break. Oathbreaker's Shame. Yeah, actually put it where it belongs. Okay. Inspire for Self-Determination gives me a pretty strong damage buff and restores power, so that'd be a good way to keep power up. Speaking of power, Gallant Display. I think that one will eventually cost a lot of power when you have that high tier. I think you have to actually hit an enemy for it to tier up, it looks like. But yeah, it deals more damage and costs more power after uses, so I suspect that would be a big power consumer. So Battle Shout and Defensive Strike are my two new opener abilities, so they will put me in battle ready. When in battle ready, even solo, I think maintaining the, what's that called, like in Defense of Middle Earth, whatever the buff is called from Sure Strike, I believe that will still be worth like keeping up. But I'm gonna try something different here, and yeah, essentially use a completely different organization of abilities than I normally would. Let's see, these are all active abilities, okay. We'd definitely rather maintain that. Because the thing with something like Sure Strike is wait, where's Blade of Elendil? Here it is. I basically want to use it once while I'm battle ready, and then I'm set for 45 seconds. So the Masterful Strike, that does a lot of damage, but it also boosts my damage by 30%. And then finally, Shadow's Lament, that just does damage. Yeah, I'll try that for my organization. Animation still feels slow, unfortunately, but yeah, I don't think the thing with the animations, I know I tend to talk about them a lot, they don't need to be like inhumanely fast, which I actually feel like some classes are, but the general skill time, I think, is what ends up suffering from the longer animations, of course, because that's what skill time is based on. But yeah, I'll probably run through this and try to not be overly newbie as a captain. You actually do get all abilities on cooldown fairly easily. Okay, so Grave Wound can spread cutting attack bleed, so let's try that. And then Shadow's Lament can spread Grave Wound bleed. Yeah, so this guy has the Grave Wound bleed. Did not get cutting attack spread, but... Courageous Heart is a mitigation cooldown, if anybody was curious. That is the Muster Courage, I believe, the solo version, essentially, of that. Yeah, I find myself going through battle state slow, but that's probably just a tad bit of me adjusting to this. Okay, didn't really... I got premium potions. Actually, I have plenty of those. I can open my inventory and use those if I need it. But yeah, let's try... Hold up. I think cooldowns. That's the big thing that I should try to manage here. Once we get to single target, just a second here. Not that guy. Yeah, see, my health is low. I feel like that's my big weakness when I just try to play this character like this, is going to be... I feel like he's going to be squishier than I think he is, essentially. I'll just use that thing, hope it's good. Okay. Cry of Fury will self-heal me, so I don't mind using that. In just a second, I'll have some good DPS here. There we go. It just took me a second. Anna, I am on... What server? Landreval. Used to be on Arkenstone. I was about to say Arkenstone, but I'm like, I'm not there anymore. Y'all can probably tell it's getting late for me. And Timid to the Limit, you're wondering if this game could hurt us in real life. If you could expand on that, maybe. But Bella, for you... Oh, test the power changes with your Runekeeper. Yeah, definitely don't need to be constantly out of power as you're doing quests. I could see classes like or class spec combinations like the Blue Line Hunter and Yellow Line Runekeeper potentially actually running into annoying power issues solo, because those are the classes where you're constantly on the go, and if you're really being efficient, you don't have to play it that way, but like the way I tend to play those classes is that ideally I'm not actually going to be out of combat that much when like generally questing, I mean. I think I need to maybe change the keybind of cutting, attack, and grave wound because I keep using them out of order. We'll use the heal here. These guys are doing inductions. I wonder why I am motivating. Oh, it's not a toggle. I'm like, why does that keep going off? Because it's not a toggle and it's probably not going off. Oh wow, I'm still alive. Hold up. I don't know how long I'm still alive. There we go. Oh, Bella, Yellow Runekeeper and Blue Hunter are your mains. Well, hopefully you don't run into the power issues. I think that would be ideal. But let's see, I could see just one of the side effects because Blue Hunter, that used to be one of their limits, was power. Even solo, I would run into that issue a lot on my Hunter. Oh, we got stuff taken care of pretty decently here. Let's go back to solo stance. Give me some OP buffs. Alright, see if we can take care of the boss man here. I don't have the most confidence because, again, one of the things that I'm really noticing is that the limiting factor of at least my experience playing this captain and the captain revamp, just like I am here, is not necessarily the damage I output, but the self-heals. It's kind of like an actual DPS spec, and you don't have that many self-heals. I don't know that that's necessarily very different than it used to be, but it's just something I'm noticing here. That said, there's plenty of damage, and when you get all these buffs up, you do get a lot of it. Interrupt. There we go. It takes him... Oh, Shadow's Limit doesn't put you in battle already. That's right. I knew that. But yeah, got through it. A bit haphazardly, if I'd have to say so myself, but we got through it. Anyway, I think at this point, I have been here long enough that it's probably for the best if I go ahead and get wrapped up with things on this character. And yeah, there's a whole lot to check out. I wouldn't mind just playing a hunter, seeing just like in general, seeing how it is when I'm playing on my say blue line hunter, Louis Loss on the server. See the experience on him. I think that could definitely be interesting. The Runekeeper is another one I would like to get to. That could be a good character to test Delvings and the new yellow line at the same time. And maybe even the new instances on Runekeeper. Compare the experience on Warden and Runekeeper between them. And the Captain update, of course. There's still a whole lot to explore there, but I got this character set up. That was basically the point for today, was to get this character set up, I think. And, you know, we got him decently set up. I still have my allies to do, but we'll worry about that later. And what else do we have? Yes, so for the hardcore captain character, I was thinking I could start his adventure Saturday this week, but I might push it back and do something else. I currently do intend to stream on Saturday, though. I'm just not 100% sure. It might just still be more general update 35 stuff. I don't know, but that would be my tentative plans for the future. Otherwise, I will... Oh, I don't know about a video tomorrow. I don't really have anything prepared for tomorrow, so probably won't have anything tomorrow. And I could have a short. If anybody likes YouTube shorts, I could have one of those tomorrow, maybe. For Red Warden, Robert, I have... The closest thing would be in this stream, near the start of the stream. I went through kind of slowly. It wasn't like in a good structured video format, but probably spent a good like 15 minutes or something, maybe even longer, building the Red Line Warden. So if you're interested in that, that was somewhat straightforward, but again, not as like snappy, I would say, as a regular video. And of course, it's very preliminary build. But yeah, that's the closest thing I have for the update 35. Saturday, probably afternoonish. Maybe a little bit earlier than a stream like today was, because I actually could get to it earlier. But yeah, that would be my tentative plan, at least. We'll see how that works out. Yeah, we'll probably do more... The way I'd call it is almost background stuff tomorrow. And I've actually recorded, you'll know the big class guide that I did in 2021 and that I initially intended to do in 2022 but never did. I have an updated recording for a video like that. I got a whole lot of editing to do with that, so I could actually make progress editing that and maybe even have that as early as next week. We'll see, though. but that is a little preview of a project coming up. Otherwise, in general, I do intend to, throughout the next couple weeks, few weeks, intend to have a lot of Update 35 content, because there's a ton to cover still with this update. I feel like I barely scratched the surface in this stream. So, yeah. Otherwise, I am ready to hopefully finally be able to eat. This has been like a 2-day project, which probably sounds completely crazy, but to get my chicken and rice soup going, I think I can finally eat that after probably like, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so after the stream. I can probably finally have it ready. So I've been looking forward to that since like before yesterday. But that aside, Robert, thank you for the $5 tip. Got it in just before I ended the stream. Now I'm glad to be just standing here rambling rather than have actually fully wrapped up the stream and ended it and let you all go and stop watching me do nothing. But no, seriously, I do appreciate that. That helps support the content moving forward and keeping things going. And of course, the now sleeping cats. Don't know where the other one is. They used to, for a while there, you see that red blanket. The reason I haven't done any, well, maybe you can see the red blanket, but there's a red blanket there. The reason I haven't moved that blanket is that was like their spot. They were almost there, like one of them was basically like there 24/7, but they haven't been in it as much lately, so might be my opportunity to finally move that blanket, because it was not intended to be a permanent feature there, but you know, the cats liked it, so I left it for them. Anyway, yeah, exciting stuff for Update 35. Overall, have had a lot of fun today. Probably the most fun I've had in LOTRO in a good while, since like before the shadow content. So yeah, it's gonna take a while, I think, with the Warden revamp. Just take a while to get used to it. It feels weird just not being as comfortable as I used to be with Warden. Anyway, I don't know, some summary type thoughts as we wrap up here. As far as the stream goes though, I hope you all had as much fun and enjoyed it. And if you did, please consider liking and subscribing for more, or becoming a channel member to support the content. And thanks again, Robert, for the super chat, and thanks for joining, chatting, and watching, everyone.